You've probably been paying into CPP for decades, year after year, paycheck after paycheck. But what if I told you that the way you claim those benefits could cost you tens of thousands of dollars permanently? That's the reality for a lot of Canadians right now. And honestly, most people don't even realize they're making a mistake until it's too late. There's a belief that CPP just sort of takes care of itself. I'll collect it when I retire, right? But here's the thing. Timing, taxes, and even your spouse's income can all have a major impact on how much you actually get. So today, I'm going to walk you through the 7 biggest CPP mistakes that I see Canadians make, and more importantly, I'm going to show you how to avoid them. I'll walk through real numbers, current policy updates, and what it all means for your retirement planning. So whether you're already retired or just thinking about it, this is the kind of stuff that can make your income last longer and work harder. So let's get into it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Jacqueline Ozdemir, a financial advisor here at Ferguson Financial Planning. I work closely with clients who've spent years building their careers, their wealth, and often their businesses, helping them make smarter financial decisions that align with both their goals and their lives. And a big part of that work, making sure decisions around government benefits like CPP don't get made on autopilot or based on outdated information. Because the truth is, you can pay into the Canada pension plan your whole working life and still leave a lot of money on the table. There are common mistakes I see time and time again, so I'm going to cover when to claim and when not to, how the recent CPP changes affect what you're entitled to, and what planning moves you can make that can either save or cost you thousands in taxes and missed benefits. If this video helps you out, please hit the like button, drop a comment below, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Alrighty, let's get into it. The first common misstep that many Canadians make is claiming CPP too early. Here's how this comes into play. While the idea of tapping into your pension benefits early might seem like a way to enjoy retirement sooner, it actually comes at a steep cost. When you claim before age 65, you're hit with a 0.6% penalty for every month that you do so. That means if you decide to claim at 60, you're looking at a permanent reduction of roughly 36% in your monthly benefit. That's the kind of unexpected pinch this penalty inflicts. And this isn't just a theoretical loss, it impacts your lifetime income. I recently spoke with a client, we'll call him Mark, who rushed his CPP application at 60 as he thought having access to funds earlier would offer more freedom. But when we looked at the numbers, it was clear that his lifetime benefits would have been significantly higher had he waited until 65 or later. The charts from the latest CPP benefit data are eye-opening, clearly showing the break-even point where waiting pays off over time. So the solution? Consider your retirement income holistically. If you have other sources of income, whether it's from a savings plan, investments, or even business earnings, it might make sense to delay your claim. That delay isn't a loss. It's an investment in a more comfortable, robust retirement income over the long haul. So instead of taking CPP early, many Canadians assume that delaying CPP beyond age 65 is always beneficial. But one mistake is thinking that any delay past age 65 is equally valuable or that delaying indefinitely is wise. While delaying CPP past age 65 does boost benefits, the increase caps out at age 70. With a maximum gain of 0.7% per month that you delay, which would end up being up to a 42% increase by age 70. And more importantly, you cannot delay past age 70. And waiting longer after that point brings no further benefit anyways. But the real mistake lies in not evaluating whether your other income sources can actually bridge the income gap during the deferral period. If you defer, you don't get paid until you apply. So you're relying on savings, maybe workplace income or other pensions in the meantime. Without that planning, the strategy backfires. Even though delaying increases your benefit by up to 42%, you might generate cash flow stress in the meantime. Consider Jane, whose full CPP at age 65 would be roughly $1,000 per month. If Jane delays until age 70, her CPP would increase by 42%. Giving her approximately $1,420 per month, a net gain of $420 per month, or just over $5,000 a year, over what she'd receive had she started at age 65. But during those 5 years without CPP, Jane needs at least $1,000 per month from somewhere else, whether that be her savings, part-time work, or another pension. If Jane hasn't planned how to replace that income, she may end up draining her savings prematurely or dip into taxable RRSP or RRF withdrawals. Of course, this could affect her longer-term financial security, even though the eventual monthly CPP benefit is higher. The smart move is to assess your full income picture before deciding to delay. If you have reliable alternative income for the deferral window, like a paid-off mortgage, continuing employment, or other pension streams, then delaying to age 70 can be a powerful tool to maximize your retirement benefit. But if not, it may make sense to start CPP earlier or combine a later CPP start date with a withdrawal strategy that protects your long-term capital. Ultimately, delaying until 70 should be a strategic choice based on health, expected lifespan, income needs, and other financial resources. Let's shift gears to a common oversight that can cost you money: ignoring the CPP enhancements rolled out post-2019. Many Canadians are still basing their decision-making on outdated assumptions that CPP is static. However, the government has updated the plan with enhancements that increase the replacement ratio and raise the earnings ceiling. In essence, the plan now offers more generous benefits for your contributions. Imagine Sarah, a mid-career professional, looking at her CPP statement and thinking, that's it. CPP will replace 25% of my earnings, right? Well, that was true until 2019. Since then, the government quietly started building an extra value to CPP. Now, not only do Canadians get a bigger slice of their pensionable earnings, up from 25% to 33.33%, but as of 2024, there's also a second tier of income that contributes even more thanks to a second earnings ceiling called the year's additional maximum pensionable earnings. In just a few years, those who earn more and continue contributing have added real muscle to the retirement income. And here's the real kicker. That small boost in contributions is worth big money in the long run. If Sarah were to max out her contributions year over year during a 40-year career, her yearly CPP benefit under the old rules would have hovered around $16,000. But with the enhancements fully phased in, that number jumps to nearly $24,000, around a 50% increase. So what's the big takeaway? CPP isn't flat anymore. It's layered and growing. If you worked or earned well after 2019, even unknowingly contributing to new tiers, you're due more. Understanding that 33.33% replacement and that second ceiling isn't just accounting, it's powerful planning. That extra chunk today turns into real income tomorrow. So don't treat CPP like the same old program. Recognize the layers and lean into the enhancements. Another pitfall that frequently catches people off guard is the failure to maximize post-retirement contributions. Here's a lesser-known fact. If you're still in the workforce past age 60, you can continue making CPP contributions, and these additional contributions ramp up your future benefits under the enhanced plan. It may seem counterintuitive to contribute after you're thinking of retiring, but having an income stream while still working can directly boost your retirement funds. Take Lisa, for example. She chose to work beyond her early 60s because she loved her career and the flexibility it provided. Many of her colleagues who were eager to retire decided to stop working completely and started claiming CPP immediately. However, Lisa, with the right guidance, understood that continuing to contribute was like putting extra interest into a savings account. Our analysis, done with the official 2025 CPP updates, showed that Lisa's incremental contributions would add up to a significantly larger monthly benefit down the road. Think of it like regularly topping off your car's fuel tank during your road trip to ensure maximum performance over a long journey. Not maximizing these contributions means you could inadvertently reduce your future income. It's a missed opportunity to leverage the dollars you're earning now, particularly if you're in a high earning phase of your career. My advice, if you're healthy, still enjoying your work, and can afford it, consider delaying full retirement and keep contributing. That extra bit of work today can lead to a healthier, more robust pension tomorrow. It may require a bit of extra planning, but with the help of trusted resources and good advice, you can tailor the strategy to work perfectly within your overall financial goals. When it comes to CPP, understanding the nuances of survivor and death benefits is critical, yet many fall into the trap of assuming full spousal entitlements. The truth is more complicated. Survivor benefits under CPP are capped at 60% of the deceased's benefit, and there's a one-time death benefit capped at $2,500 paid to the estate. This doubles to $5,000 only if the contributor never received CPP and had no spouse or common law partner at the time of death. This distinction is important because many assume that when one partner claims CPP, the survivor will get the full amount, which isn't the case. Consider the story of John and Emily. When John passed away unexpectedly, his wife Emily assumed she'd continue receiving the full value of his CPP pension, but that wasn't the case. John had been getting $1,200 per month, but because of the CPP survivor rules, Emily, now 67, was only eligible for 60%, reducing her monthly income to $720. That's a $480 drop every month, or nearly $5,800 less per year than she counted on. While CPP does include a one-time $2,500 death benefit, it's a one-time lump sum meant to cover final expenses, and it doesn't change based on whether a surviving pension is being paid. A gap this size could dramatically impact retirement plans, especially if ongoing bills were budgeted around John's full CPP. So the fix? Start these conversations before a crisis hits. Review your survivor benefit options well in advance, understand that a spouse may only receive up to 60%, and factor that into insurance or contingency planning. A small life insurance policy or an emergency buffer account can bridge this gap far more effectively than scrambling during a time of grief. One area that often slips under the radar is the failure to coordinate CPP with old age security or OAS and understand the tax implications involved. CPP income doesn't operate in a vacuum. It interacts with other federal programs and it can directly influence OAS clawbacks. I have an entire video on OAS that I'd encourage you to check out, and I'll link that in the description below. If your combined income reaches a certain threshold, you could see a reduction in your OAS payments, which over time might significantly alter your retirement income. Let's take Dave, who had a solid understanding of his pension entitlements, but didn't factor in how his CPP income might trigger OAS clawbacks. Even though his CPP benefit was robust, the additional income pushed him over the threshold where OAS payments started to taper off. By not coordinating his income streams, Dave unintentionally found himself with a less optimized income mix and a higher tax bill during retirement. What's the fix? The key is to take a holistic planning approach. Before claiming CPP, it makes sense to review your entire retirement picture, including OAS, any other pensions, investment income, and even potential tax obligations if you're a non-resident. Coordinating these elements can help you devise a strategy that minimizes tax impacts while maximizing your overall benefit. Make sure that you're not just looking at the benefits in isolation, but are optimizing your income streams so that one doesn't undermine the other. Finally, one of the most effective yet underutilized strategies in CPP planning is CPP pension sharing between spouses. Despite its benefits, many couples overlook it, mainly because they confuse it with pension income splitting at tax time or aren't aware it's something they need to apply for. In Canada, once both partners are receiving or eligible to receive CPP and are at least age 60, they can apply through Service Canada to share their CPP retirement pensions. This isn't something you elect each year on your tax return. It's a formal request that splits the CPP benefits earned during the years you live together and redistributes them more evenly between both partners. Here's why it matters. Suppose one spouse is in a higher tax bracket due to a larger CPP benefit. That extra income might push them into a higher marginal rate, costing them more in taxes, while their partner could potentially absorb more income at a lower rate. Sharing CPP helps balance this out. For example, if one spouse is receiving $1,200 per month and the other is receiving $400, CPP sharing could adjust both pensions to around $800. That redistribution, along with other eligible pension income splitting, could save the household thousands in taxes, depending on the province and overall income levels. When implementing a pension sharing strategy, it also makes sense to consider how this interacts with other income streams like RSP or RIF withdrawals or old age security, as I mentioned earlier. Since sharing can lower one spouse's net income, it might help avoid OAS clawbacks or preserve access to income-tested benefits. Unlike income splitting on your tax return, CPP sharing is based on your joint contribution history and doesn't require you to re-elect year after year. However, you can cancel it later if your circumstances were to change. When done correctly, CPP sharing is a strategic tool not just for tax efficiency, but also for long-term household planning. It helps ensure that neither partner ends up in a higher tax bracket unnecessarily, and that both can enjoy a smoother, more sustainable income in retirement. So the takeaway here is simple. Look at your CPP from a household perspective and don't leave this strategy on the table. Let's recap things with the key numbers so you don't forget. First, claiming CPP at age 60 applies a steep 36% permanent reduction in your monthly benefits, from deducting 0.6% per month for up to 5 years. But on the flip side, deferring until age 70 yields a significant 42% boost, gaining 0.7% for every month after 65. Second, if you've contributed under the enhanced CPP structure since 2019, maxing out your contributions over a full 40-year career can give you up to a 50% larger pension compared to the old plan. Third, when it comes to survivor benefits, remember that they're capped at 60% of the deceased's pension, and the one-time death benefit is limited to $2,500. And fourth, couples aged at least 60 can choose to split CPP benefits each tax year up to 50%, which can smooth household income and reduce taxes when done strategically. So here's the big takeaway. The CPP benefit is a moving part in a much bigger financial machine. Whether you're a few years away from retiring or about to start collecting, how and when you claim CPP can have a lasting impact on your income, your taxes, and even your partner's financial future. At the end of the day, CPP is one of the few guaranteed income streams you'll have in retirement. Messing it up means missing out on money you've already earned, so it's worth getting it right. If you want less guesswork and more confidence about when to claim, don't wait until it's too late. So, where do you land on CPP timing? Are you thinking of claiming early, waiting until 70, or not quite sure yet? Let me know in the comments. I read every one and might tackle them in a future video. And if this got you thinking about how the CPP decisions I talked about today apply to your own situation, use the link in the description to book a discovery call. Whether you're more concerned about the tax implications or the effect on your household income, we can walk through the numbers and figure out what's right for you. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and link and subscribe. Hit that little bell so you don't miss the next video. I cover real strategies for smart Canadians who want to keep more of what they've built. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.